What is up, guys? Matthew here, and welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 21 Middlesbrough career mode. And today we have 3 league games to stick our teeth into. Finally, after a couple of episodes of cup games, really, cup-dominated games. We only had 1 league game in the last episode, and then before that we had a cup final, and then before that we had a cup game at the end of the episode before that. So yeah, it's been a bit of a break from the Premier League, to be fair. Mixed break, of course. The only league game we had, we lost. So that's back-to-back Premier League defeats for us. After not losing in 20 games, we've then lost twice in a row. Luckily, the Cup has provided some solitude for us. And we've got over the Carabao Cup final defeat by booking our place in the FA Cup semi-final for the 2nd year in a row. And it's Preston North End who we've got at Wembley, with Norwich and Tottenham in the other semi-final. So another huge opportunity has opened up for us to not only complete the road to Europe, but also win Boro a domestic trophy. As for the league, which we are concentrating on today, of course, things have started to get a little bit close with the slide we've been on. And this is what I mean. We've went 20 games unbeaten. All we've done is lose 2 games in a row, and we're suddenly on the brink of being outside of the Champions League positions. That is how unbelievably tight and tough the Premier League really is. Tottenham have overtaken us now. Liverpool are a little bit out of sight, although we have a game in hand on them. City have just managed to pull away again after their own little wobble. So us, really, I'm ignoring Tottenham, I'm ignoring Liverpool. If we can catch one of them, great. I just want to stay ahead of Leicester City, who are right behind us now. But we have 2 games in hand on them, which is a big, big bonus. I feel comfortable with the games in hand we have. We are clear of West Ham. So in terms of getting European football, I should be pretty confident. But I want Champions League, just because of how we've been at the top for so long this season. We have a bit of a reprieve in terms of the fixtures. Hopefully this will be a little bit easier for us after we've had a real tough run of games. We've got Burnley, who are fighting for their lives, Palace, and then a Tyne-Tees derby against Newcastle. So without any further ado, let's crack on. So as for the team, I'm going to experiment a little bit with the front lads. I've put Jed Spence back on the bench. Tanganga's back on the right. I know it wasn't his fault, but he scored a pretty stupid own goal in the last game. So he's back on the bench. Fry comes back in alongside Gibbo. McNair is doing well in terms of battling Morsey for that spot, that defensive spot alongside Bellingham. So we're going to put him in there once again. I'm going to leave Roberts in the middle, and I'm going to put Smith Rowe on the left to see how he is as a winger, as opposed to a central attacking midfielder. Just having a feel for how good he is. He's got decent pace. He can play as a right winger. So yeah, just getting an idea of where he can play, where he's at his best, which of course means that Draxler is on the bench. Straight back to a man in red. Here's Divock Origi. Smith Rowe commits the defender. Origi, first shot is blocked. His touch isn't saved by the goalkeeper.
Well, threat over for now.
Got lucky with how it ricocheted back to him there, but the initial touch was disappointing from Origi. As Burnley are trying to play that Route 1 football. And that was vintage Burnley. Long ball forward. They win the first header, win the second header. And then all of a sudden, where on earth is our defence?
He really doesn't have any chance with. It's a great team goal.
I mean, he scuffs it. Even from 5 yards, he scuffs it. What a goal. But that is a really goal to concede. Now terrible league form continues. We're behind.
So Boro restart the game. A wake-up call for their players, perhaps. Can they find a response?
Oh, come on, lads. Keep the ball.
Roberts. Promising move from Boro.
Bellingham can't keep that.
Possession changing hands.
Oh, Ben Mee. What's he done there? He's been
Well, they like
very, very dawdly on the ball here, and that's allowed Roberts, whose initial shot is blocked. Well, we are lucky
left to wonder what
that it fell back to him. Ben Mee with a terrible bit of defending there on the ball. I mean, Roberts
But it bounces back.
should score,
Where were his
and he's
defenders?
lucky.
Strikers there, pushes it into the net.
He's lucky that I don't know who the defender is he's up against, but he's and got back into the game.
Well, the earlier goal cancelled out. One apiece.
Number 19, Patrick Roberts.
Well, look at this straight away. In behind.
Unable to keep
Coulson's too quick for him, too strong for him. Bellingham driving his way through the Burnley midfield. He's caught, and once again, our defence is really open at the back. What a ball! Our defence is... I mean, that ball's fantastic.
He's on his own. He collects himself.
But the defence, I don't know what's happened to them. Back into the game, and we hand Burnley the lead once again.
Has to be done to secure this game.
We've got serious problems, and we need to sort them out very, very quickly.
So there we have it, 2-1.
A great advert for.
So now just looking so weak at the back.
Could it be?
Oh my God!
And it goes! That will greatly help the cause. Now they only need to keep concentration levels high.
Well, here's the replay, and I enjoy this passage of play. It's lovely to watch. Superb passing, and he takes full advantage of the time he's given. It's an to see.
Our season is unravelling right before our very eyes. I don't know where the Boro team has gone from only a couple of games ago, but since that
3-1.
initial defeat by Arsenal, we've completely gone off the boil to the point which we're now conceding 3 goals. Oh, for God's sake, what is going on, boys? What are we doing? Put a flipping... Christ.
And the flag does go up. Must have been close.
I mean... Oh. Conceding 3 away to Burnley, 3 of the easiest goals you'll ever see. The only goal we've scored
Gibson.
was because Ben Mee decided to dawdle on the ball and hand Roberts a route into the box.
As far as stoppage time is concerned, 3 minutes here.
Hudson-Odoi is in so much space. He needs to hold his run. Did he hold his run? He did hold his run. And Hudson-Odoi
He can.
finds a consolation.
Opportunity and momentum is with them.
And we get a goal back just before the end of the half.
They were so quick to get out from the back, and he chooses to
And but this half has still been absolutely shocking. And Hudson-Odoi
You can't really say defense
brings us back within 1.
3-2.
But we desperately...
So the second half underway. Let's see if Boro are able to spark a fight back in this half.
Well, I don't think anyone expected a game as high scoring as this against Burnley.
Paddy McNair.
But they've had 3 shots on target. They've scored 3 goals. They've been clinical.
Stopped them just when they looked menacing.
I don't know if they've been clinical or we've just been defensively terrible. I think probably the second, actually. That's a stupid question. But I just want us to just at least get a clean sheet in this half.
And a good-looking ball.
But here they go early on. Oh my God!
It's a finish of real class. No shortage of
Every time we get within one,
Incredible head.
we concede at the other end.
Well, here's
And
a
Coulson's defensive
really dangerous ball
discipline
into
has
the
gone out the
penalty
window
area, and that's a
completely.
good header.
He's getting caught
Concentrate.
time and time again in behind.
Slightly different vantage point.
And Dale Fry,
Scored.
I don't know why he's trying to boot that. We are a disgrace.
So the current scoreline 4-2. Well, make sure you join us for more Premier League action coming your way. It's Burnley facing Aston Villa.
Yeah, the
Well, Burnley are pinging the ball about like Barcelona.
Game, that. Well, hopefully that's
I
the
just-
commentator's curse.
I don't know if it's a mix of them just playing unbelievable and we playing terrible.
To defend.
But I mean, they are just...
Slice it, it really
the
has been a
passing has
positive
been
contribution
unbelievable.
from midfield Lee.
Well, he's a dream player to play with, isn't he? You know, as long as you do your job, he will do his. And that means your team will score goals.
And I'm worried with our defence, every time they put the ball in the box, I'm worried we're going to concede because we just... Whereas before we've looked like we were never going to concede a goal, we now look like we're going to concede every time.
It has gone over the touchline. A deep delivery. Simple for the keeper.
Thank God Bettinelli's finally caught one. Fry,
Could be a chance to break here.
Hudson-Odoi, Origi, Hudson-Odoi, beautiful.
Opportunity.
Oh, and Danny Ings can't score, and again,
Pulls up the second chance.
well, again, it's another scrappy goal.
Questions of his defence.
Well, it's good football leading up to it. Ings should score, and once again,
Inquest between keeper and defenders. He'll be saying, where were you? And they'll be
well,
saying, why did
the
you
defender
catch it?
falls over the goalkeeper.
They've dropped their intensity for sure.
And once again, we're back within one. But this time we need to keep the score down and get back into this
On
game.
the back of that last goal for Boro, the belief has returned. Well, this is the home of live football, EA TV, and we have more action coming up from the Premier League for you. It's Middlesbrough facing Crystal Palace.
Bellingham
Yeah, really looking
beats his
forward
man with ease.
to it.
Origi, and here is Danny Ings. Well, this is unbelievable.
My goodness, they've changed the course of this game.
Bringing on a second striker. And Burnley's defence is at sea.
Replay, and if
Bellingham nicks it, plays it to Origi.
and once he gets himself,
And that second striker
he hammers it into the back of the net.
is making the difference. And Danny Ings can walk the ball into the Burnley net.
Well, the happy
This
fans are
incredible
very
game
more than delighted by his
continues
team's response.
to twist and to turn, and Danny Ings puts us level. We're only just past the hour, and it's
Level again
4-4.
here. This has been quite the roller coaster. Albert Sambi Lokonga has plenty of know-how in the ball shielding department.
Well, what a dink that is.
Towards the back post.
It's simple for Burnley. Long ball, nod it on, flick it on,
For them to get their noses in front.
and they just nod it on bit by bit until it gets in the back of the net. Especially when you're playing a team like ours who can't defend to save their lives at the moment. And I feel more under threat from Burnley from these positions than I do anywhere else on the pitch.
Over it comes.
Deep,
Not really the ideal clearance.
not headed clear particularly. Tanganga does well. Well, they've threw it to Danny Ings.
Final 20 minutes of the game.
And here's Bellingham driving through again.
On you go, says the referee.
Stays on his feet that time. And that was probably the right thing to do.
Hudson-Odoi.
Hudson-Odoi now.
Options in the middle.
He's got a couple of men to aim for in the middle. Roberts takes it down, and Roberts has put it wide. You'd put your mortgage on him scoring. But Roberts has dragged his effort wide. And a huge chance to take the lead goes begging. Bit of a press from Burnley here.
Over the touchline for a throw-in.
Well held up there by Dale Fry.
And they nudge in front.
Tanganga has got the pace and he may as well use it.
Cross fired over.
Good cross in.
Really
Ings
important
just
piece of
doesn't
last-ditch
catch the
defending.
strike well. And Burnley well within their rights to go after the win here.
I must say this looks promising.
Memedy plays it early. Coulson does well to win it. 6 minutes added on here. Here's Coulson. Patrick Roberts.
Ings
Danny Ings.
and Bellingham.
Bellingham.
And he's made it.
Here's Danny Ings to win it for us here. What a
To
save.
do a bit of damage.
What a save from the keeper.
And problem solved.
Our finishing in this game has been shocking, really.
And the crowd sends that too. They're trying to urge them.
I mean, the amount of rebounds we've nodded in after their keeper's made an initial save has been crazy.
Level pegging, but
And Roberts could have won us the game.
well, just couldn't.
Tanganga with a big interception. Is there time for one more attack? Danny Ings is in. It's the 96th minute.
To stop him.
Oh, what a tackle from their defender. We were waiting for Origi to be up in support. Origi wasn't there. And this incredible game ends in a draw.
Your thoughts?
Well, lots to eulogy.
Am I happy we didn't lose? Yes. Am I happy we drew? No. 2 more points dropped in the race for the top 4. We missed some chances in that game. We missed so many chances. And the defence was an absolute... I don't even know what words to describe the defence. Absolutely shocking. Liverpool have beaten their rivals. Just curious as to which rivals that was. Doesn't say. So then, at the end of the day, that's drop points. Conceding 4 at Burnley is not good. Meanwhile, Tottenham dropped points also, so they've not gained anything on us. Leicester are now only 2 points behind us, with us still having that one single game in hand. And in terms of the league, that's what's that? 3-4 without a win. So we need something to happen for us, and we need to stop conceding goals. It's becoming a real issue in the league. Nevertheless, we move on now. We've got a bit of time to recover as we've got Crystal Palace at home in the league. So then, heading into the Palace game, defensively, I don't know what to do really. Keep swapping Tanganga in from right back to centre back, taking out Fry, bringing him back in. Same with Spence. I just don't trust the centre back backup options we've got. Grant Hall, I think he's past it. Mackinnon is a great option, who I might turn to if things don't get better and give him a chance. But that's an issue we're suffering from at the minute. These 3, even Coulson himself, had a couple of shockers. And this position as well. I thought McNair was making strides. He's had a couple of disappointing games, so we're going to stick Marcy back in. I feel like Bellingham is consistently performing and is definitely better off in there. And I've just went with the front 4 that were giving us so much joy before. Draxler's come back in, Roberts, Hudson-Odoi and Origi, of course. But for me, it's not about scoring goals in this game. It's about keeping Crystal Palace out. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something a bit different, because I've noticed that they are playing 4-4-2 and we played much better up against Burnley's 4-4-2 when we went 4-4-2. So I never, ever, ever do this, but we're going to start with a different formation to try and stop the rot. Ings and Origi start, with Roberts switching to the left. Let's see how we get on.
Middlesbrough, they had a difficult match to contemplate last time and ended up drawing in the game against Burnley. Expectations for this game, Lee?
Goals, goals, goals. Last time out away from home.
Oh, what a touch that is from Saka.
But I think it'll be different today. I think they'll win the game.
Incredible touch there,
A
and
bit annoyed to have lost.
unlucky there. Morsey comes away with the ball here, and the additional bodies that we have up front here might make the difference. The ball's a little bit beyond Roberts, but Roberts makes no mistake.
That's a very bright start.
And a well-needed start for us as we take the lead. Seemed to make the difference there. Hudson-Odoi cut in field as soon as Origi turned. Roberts had all the room in the world.
Smashes it past him and gives him no chance to think. A lovely finish.
And it's good to see him smash that into the far corner after a couple of pretty bad misses in the last game.
The frustrations get the better in Derek. His players need help here.
But as we know, last couple of games, doesn't matter how many we score, it's more important how many we
So the match is
don't concede.
1-0 here. And it's with Isak.
Isak now trying to take on Tanganga, and oh, Morsey turns into the striker, makes up for it with a
Position he was in.
good block, and then
Especially pleased with himself.
Well,
shot there by the winger.
not always the best.
Didn't quite catch that one, but mistake there.
Well, Derek,
Could have cost us.
Manager right there. Pure frustration. It's such a thankless job at times.
Let's go to Alan McInally because there's been a
Ontiveros, I think his name is.
Goal for Everton.
Plays inside to Catrone.
regular update.
Morsey comes across, and as has been the case, we've conceded again. Ebericha has this ball across, and the door just opens. The door opened for him.
Slightly different vantage point in terms of the
Tanganga way
It's
off.
not easy being a manager, and that's why.
I think the only way we're going to win is to just simply outscore teams, because we cannot keep them out. And we continue to concede poor goals. 1-1.
Well, the earlier goal cancelled out.
The grapevine has been red hot. I'm not surprised he doesn't half catch the eye when I see him play.
A lot of big players in the box for Palace.
Fed over towards the back post.
Luckily the free kick's a
Lines.
pretty poor one, but they
Patrick,
waste no time
it's opening up for them.
trying to play it back in, and
Take advantage of the opportunity.
Ings is the one doing his defensive work there.
Eze. Bruno Viana. Kuyase. Pongracic. Well, he played that one really
Great
well.
ball out.
Plenty of forward momentum here, but can they produce?
Ball played in. Eze.
Petrone.
They've got Owen on the overlap, and, well, maybe he was better off playing it to his right there. There was a man free. Here they come again, though. Isak, lovely play this until the finish.
Keeper will be complaining about poor finishing like that, Lee.
No, it's not about the goal.
A let off there.
Poor effort. That really
But
is
good build-up
awful.
play from Crystal Palace.
Origi.
Origi, Ings,
Beautifully disguised.
Bellingham. This is more like it. Beautiful play. Bellingham keeps going, but it's
Well,
saved by
had
the
a lot of
keeper.
ground to cover. Splendid save.
A lovely piece of counter-attacking football. That's when we're at our best. It's a shame Bellingham couldn't quite finish the job.
Cutrone. Isak. Kuyase.
Catrone to Isak, back to
Passing it around,
Kuyate.
Looking for the goal that would put them
Need to
ahead.
keep our shape here.
Isak.
Isak. Ooh, nodded over the top, and Spence has to bicycle kick that one clear.
How about the cross? This might have potential.
Here's Eze up against Spence.
And Anholt.
Van Aanholt's got all the room in the world.
Spinazzola.
Ball played in. Do not want to drag our centre-backs out here, but we're going to have to.
And it's with Isak.
Isak tries to turn Gibson.
Make sure nothing untoward happened.
And Bettinelli manages to make the save, which was, I think, made a little bit more comfortable because of the pressure on the striker.
I'm delighted to say.
Play the ball out well.
Coming up for you here on E8.
Ings.
It's Middlesbrough.
God's sake, Ings.
Newcastle United.
Well, that should be a really interesting matchup atmosphere.
Here they come
Sure,
again.
Get an absolute belter, Derek.
Spinazzola. And Anholt.
Good play on the left here.
The ball, but can they
Eze lobs it in. Isak's free!
covered a lot of ground.
And he was allowed to turn and shoot. Spence keeps it in, but only keeps it in for a Crystal Palace player.
You've got to say it has.
And once again, we shoot ourselves in the foot. And Isak has the easiest finish he could ever wish.
Derek, as we see it again, it's a big mistake.
Spence keeps it in, but oh wow, I mean, look at the state of that. This defence needs an absolute, they need stripping. They all need selling. Buy a new back four. I cannot believe what is going on. Crystal Palace have come from behind. And it's all down to another defensive error. This time from Jed Spence.
Well, as they kick off again. Jude Bellingham.
Bellingham finds Patrick Roberts. Origi's in. Oh, what a block.
Can they find the magic?
Felt like that had to go in. It's getting to the point where we're just trying to pass it into the net because we're just trying our hardest to score. I just don't think it's going to drop for us. Roberts with the corner.
No nonsense clearance.
Can't see us beating a physical team like Palace
Have they given him too much?
at a game like that from a corner. Whip back in, Hudson-Odoi can't quite connect.
He'll be terribly proud of.
There's another chance goes begging. Coulson. Here's Roberts.
Draxler.
We're going to need to score now
Fine play to
if
keep
we're going to get back into this game.
Bruno Viana.
We've got literally 5 attackers on.
Leonardo Spinazzola. Now with Van Aanholt. Bruno Viana. Buta with it.
Oh, Palace just need to just let the clock run down here as once again our fullbacks are just having a torrid time.
And Aanholt.
Feels like the gap between midfield and defence is huge. And Palace are just wanting to keep the ball.
Moving the ball effectively.
Eze. Oh, and they're
The
in.
goalkeeper did well to hang on to that.
Bettinelli with a good save. Need to get the ball up the pitch quickly.
Today, that's for sure, but this game is
Their
far from
defence,
over.
the defence is too physical.
Reminding them of that. You've got to think there'll be one
Catrone.
more chance or two.
Gibson does get the challenge in, but falls straight back to a Palace player, and they're in again.
Had a role to play. They're still with
And Bettinelli keeps us in it.
Kept his team in the game. Simple as that.
Now they're going to alter things. Here's the substitution.
Corner. Could put the game to bed here. It's deep. It's headed.
He was under a bit of
And it's
pressure,
wide.
but he'll feel he should have done a bit better with the header.
They're the worst. Still beat 2 Boro players to the ball there.
Spence. 5 minutes remaining, and one thing is certain. No
Ings.
leaving, because it's
Here's Draxler. Here's Origi. Oh, that touch is shocking. Absolutely shocking. What is going on with this
Aurelio
team?
Buta. It's with Cutrone.
I just...
Kouyaté. Superbly read
Oh,
and
Coulson wins
executed.
it and then they lose it again. And oh, this is it. And I give
And
up.
it is. He's done it. Surely a case of game over.
Well, Derek, that tells you all you need to know about this group of players. Great team spirit, fantastic stuff. Well, here's the replay, and what a ball that is to put him through. And then through on goal. Do you go for placement or do you go for power? Well, he certainly wasn't messing around, was he? Absolutely smashed it for a manager when a plan comes together. Total satisfaction.
Jean-Philippe Mateta. Dangerous looking attack. Cutrone. Is it going to be? Well, he had the measure of it, the goalkeeper. And that will be a corner. Taken short. Ontiveros. Cutrone. And there's the feed into the box. And he's fired over the corner. And there goes the final whistle. Not the result the fans were hoping for, Lee.
A real lack of concentration for me has cost them today. Mistakes too. Manager will be looking around for that drawing board to start all this again. They were poor today, Derek.
Well, he put in a really thorough performance tonight, Lee.
Well, that was a really...
The wheels have come off. We were leading that game and we lost it. Palace had 16 shots and 11 on target. Bettinelli's happy with the games he's getting. And, well, it's crazy thinking that I feel this is the toughest period we've had, and yet we're fourth in the Premier League, but I cannot explain what has happened to us in the last couple of games. We've shipped 7 goals in the last 2 games. You include the Tottenham game, 10 goals in the last 3 league games. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's gone wrong with the defence. But another game goes by, another defeat. And, well, the games we had in hand over Leicester have gone. We are now level with them on 30 points, on 30 games, and the gap is only 2 points. And we assumed we would be clear of 6th. But United are now in that position and are only 7 points behind us, and they're probably going to put together a good run at the end of the season. There's 8 games to go, and we've hit a big rock in the road. We really, really have. Yeah. Absolutely crazy. Again, it's the fact that it's not like we were edged out. We lost that game despite leading, and the defending was atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. So the winless run in the league continues. Winless in 5. 6? No, 5. And it's crazy to think we haven't won a league game since the end of January. We're now at the end of March, going in to April. Not good enough. So, we've got to try and bounce back. Didn't realise. We brought 2 young players in, by the way. I forgot to mention that. We have brought 2 youngsters in. Owen Vaughan, good potential. He's not looked as good now that he's in the squad. Only a 48 rated player. Brooks looks a little bit better. But yeah, his rating's not good enough, so we've brought him into the squad. We'll release him straight away. yeah, that game against Burnley actually was a game in hand. Sorry, against Palace, it was actually one of our games in hand. So even a bigger opportunity missed. So it's back to the Sunday game now, and well, I don't know what I'll do if we end up losing the Tyne-Tees derby. This is the definition of a must-win game. So ahead of the Newcastle game then, another change in defence, as I'm now struggling to even find what the best back four is. I said if things didn't improve, we'd give Mackinnon a chance, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So he now comes into defence alongside Ben Gibson, who I did consider dropping, but I feel like we just can't, considering the form he's gave us throughout the season. Tanganga's back on the right. We reverted back to our usual formation, and Smith Rowe comes back in in the middle of the central attacking midfield, with Roberts now moved over to the left. But it's not as much of what team we put out, it's just about the result at this point. This is a Tyne-Tees derby we can not lose.
Expectations.
Well, a Champions League spot was way off when they set their expectations at the start.
Good interception from Coulson there as Newcastle looked for an over-the-top through ball here, and Smith Rowe could find Hudson-Odoi. He plays in Origi first time. Origi composes himself, and we are in the lead of the derby.
Well, let's see the replay.
As has been the case in recent games, we start well enough, we score first. It's what happens afterwards is where the problems come from. We of course led Tottenham at one stage, lost that game. We led Palace, lost that game. So although we've took the lead, I am by no means getting excited, but it's good that we've started well and took an early lead. Richie trying to find something on this left-hand side. Not letting Newcastle cross no matter what.
And a throw in forthcoming.
Well, we forced him into a mistake. Bellingham with a good interception. Smith Rowe. It's Tanganga on the ball. He's got the pace to beat a man though. He can also put a decent ball in. Well, they're looking for another over-the-top through ball. Richie's nodded it over Mackinnon. Oh, what a good bit of play from Richie! And the shot, which was going wide, has deflected in off of Ben Gibson. And that just sums it up, really, doesn't it? That just sums up how things are going for us at the moment.
Here we can take a look at it.
Nods it over Mackinnon. The first shot was saved. The second wasn't even going in. It was going wide. You'll see from this angle. And it went in off Gibson's hand. That just sums up how things are going for us at the moment.
Well, the manager must be delighted with his team after they showed that.
And from absolutely nothing, Newcastle are back in the derby. And we've got anxiety that it's going to happen again. Smith Rowe to Origi. Very much playing in front of a packed Newcastle defence.
Timely intervention. Manquillo. And it's with Hendrick. Still pushing for the goal that would put them ahead, but not.
Here's Harry Wilson, I think, who seems to have signed for Newcastle. I mean, Bellingham is stood right next to the midfielder, but it's just not going to the ball, which means we have to bring one of the defenders out, which means Newcastle can get in behind.
Here perhaps to invigorate their aerial targets.
I mean, Bellingham's just stood still, doing absolutely nothing. And I think Bettinelli did, yeah, he got a hand on that. We've not changed any tactics. We just seem to be so loose at the back. It really is a worry how it's came from nowhere.
He's driven in the
And Newcastle with the corner.
chance with that header.
And they've hit
But
the
he
side
sends it
netting.
wide of the post.
Well, it's quite easy to head that one over the bar. This time he just gets his ankle
Well, it was
past the post.
curling inwards, but luckily it hit the side netting.
They might be able to get it.
Good ball forward as Coulson is out of position.
Jeff Hendrick.
Hendrick.
Widely played.
Ball just being played around Jude Bellingham. First pass is blocked, but it goes back to a Newcastle player. Ritchie keeps it in. Played in field. Hendrick, Mackinnon with the block. Bellingham goes up, but gets nowhere near it. Jeff Hendrick now into the area, and a save again from Bettinelli.
The corner, they referee.
As it's all Newcastle at the moment. Space on the edge of the box for Harry Wilson, and you can't give him that much room. Luckily it was straight at the keeper. St. Maximan then will whip this in.
Played into the centre.
It's deep. Oh, Roberts can't clear it. It's bounced back off a Newcastle player. Back in, headed.
And the keeper acquitted himself well.
Bettinelli is making save after save. And there's another one. Here's Hudson-Odoi.
He might be through here.
Can he pick out a man?
And he clears it out of harm's way.
Cross is dealt with. Smith Rowe.
And Bellingham.
Back to Bellingham. We're trying to get some room on the edge of the area. Jude Bellingham's shot.
Fine stop.
And it was with his weaker foot, and it was what you'd expect. A weak effort. Oh, and then he's just walked into Jeff Hendrick.
Wilson. Jeff Hendrick. Wilson. And it's with Hendrick. Can they find a gap
Well,
in the defence?
Coulson's just completely missed that.
Played into the
Ball's in.
A deft clearance.
Mackinnon does really well. Now Roberts. Can he get us going? Morsey. Fantastic ball to Hudson-Odoi. It's rinse and repeat from earlier in the game. And there it is. Origi
Re-established
on the brink of half-time. Gives us a very important lead. We can't break teams down for the life of us when they're sat in front of us, but on the counter-attack, that's where we pick them off. What a finish. It's come from that right-hand side again. And Origi, luckily, is being clinical.
Well, just look at the reactions on the touchline. They just need to keep their composure now. This is
Starting to worry that we were going to have another Crystal Palace. Well, we still might, of course, but since our first goal, it's been all Newcastle.
Well, as they
Luckily,
kick off again, 2-1 the current state of affairs.
one attack going forward. We get the second goal. And that's right on the brink of half-time.
Sounded for half-time in this game.
St. Maximan.
Moving the ball impressively here.
Newcastle early in this second half looking to
Now
get straight back into this game.
delivered.
Tanganga blocked the initial cross really well.
Hayden.
Forcing them all the way back.
Seen plenty of reports.
And we're basically defending with 11 men here, and Origi's the one doing the job.
Adding to the squad list.
Smith Rowe,
yeah, if the median
if he can time the pass perfectly, which he has done. Callum Hudson-Odoi is in here, and that's a much needed third goal.
And not giving the opposition much of a look in.
And it was all coming from us literally sticking 10 men behind the ball. Origi was the one who made the interception after we forced them to play it backwards. And Smith Rowe's ball through was absolutely perfect. The perfect run, the perfect ball. And Hudson-Odoi has become a trusty finisher this season. That could be a huge goal which takes so much pressure off. We now lead Newcastle by 3 goals to 1.
4 goals in this match now. 3.
Fry to Draxler. Back to Bellingham. Julian Draxler, what a lovely move this has been.
Able to close down the shot.
I think it was blocked by, well, I'm hoping a Newcastle player. I hope it wasn't Ings doing his best defensive duties there. No, it was blocked by a Newcastle defender. And the difference that it makes when you've just got that 2-goal cushion. If it was 2-1, we'd be a bag of nerves right now, but we can just relax and enjoy the game as Ings' header was a cross goal, and oh wow, nice. Nice from Harry Wilson, who is trying to get the team up the pitch. We need to get men behind the ball, which we have done. St. Maximan up against Dale Fry, can't get past. Hayden, Makinen's in there. Oh, and Bettinelli, I expected him to keep hold of that. Well, he parried it clear, which was a surprise. And oh, that's through, and Bettinelli with a save. Makinen tries to clear it, and Bettinelli basically says, leave it alone.
Wow, double bubble. He gets the ball in the end, but the first save he makes, absolutely brilliant.
Morsey doing well to hold off Joe Linton. But 2 chances there from Newcastle, which could really ramp the pressure up.
Boro pushing forward with options available.
Here's Draxler. Morsey. Ooh, Bellingham almost getting through, but that should be it. And that is a huge weight off our shoulders. I think it's our first league win in 5. And it came in hands. Our first win has came in the Tyne Tees derby. Another positive is that Leicester play later on today. The team who we're now in a direct fight with for 4th. They are playing Liverpool, and by the looks of it, I think the result has already been played. It looks like Liverpool may have done us a favour, and they did. So Liverpool have beaten Leicester and are the sole chasers of Manchester City now. That's going to be a really fascinating end of the season to see if Liverpool can catch Manchester City. Tottenham, the champions, are a little bit adrift, but you never know. We are still with Tottenham, and only 2 points behind. Leicester's defeat then ensures that we stretch our gap to 5 points. It could have been more, of course, but we've dropped points in a couple of games in which we shouldn't have, Burnley being one of them, Palace being one to absolutely forget. But with 7 games to go, we have 5-point gap over Leicester and a 7-point gap over Manchester United. So we just need to hold this together and we will end up in the top 5, top 6 even, but I do want to get in the top 4. I think that is just that little bit extra special, I'd say. And who knows, if Tottenham have a couple of tough games, then you never know, we might be able to have a little scrap with them. But, at the start of the season, we showed great consistency to stick with City, to even be their closest challengers, but it's shown as the season's gone on, the top teams have really came to the fold and showed how good they really are. And City, I mean, we were once 5 points behind them. If we'd have beat them that day, if you remember, we would have been 3 points behind them. Suddenly you're thinking title challenge, but now back down to earth. We're 17 points behind them now, and we're even 9 points off of Liverpool, who we were once ahead by quite a bit. So it's a long season. We've done exceptionally well. We need to hang on in there, and we've got 3 more games coming up in the next episode, all from the Premier League: West Ham, Sheffield United, and that game against Fulham, which I think might be a game in hand. And then that will be followed by the FA Cup semi-final in the episode after that, which is, of course, Preston, Liverpool, and Everton. And then there's only 2 games left to finish the season, unless, of course, we do make it into the FA Cup final. I'm hoping that game against Leicester on the last day will not be one for top 4. But a relief to end the episode with a win. The first in the league since January the 28th. Dear me, what a run we've been on. But yeah, that's a monkey off our back. Hopefully we can kick on now. West Ham are up next. They are in 7th, so another big team to try and get the better of there, as the end of our second Premier League season is very close now. And if you want to see what happens at the end of the season, as always, subscribe to this very channel if you haven't already. Hit the bell so you are notified so you do not miss a single upload or live stream. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button. It really does help the channel out. And the video also, leave a comment if you want to too. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.